now when I hear too many sirens, it makes me feel super nervous, super anxious.
Simon, it's chaos here in Hagley Park, really. You can probably hear the sirens going past me as ambulances rush to and from the mosque.
I wasn't even there that day at the mosque, but for a while I was anxious all the time, and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, somebody hates us this much.
And a witness describing the shooter as white-skinned, blonde, quite short. Apparently went in around 1:30 and the shooting began around 20 to 2, 1:40, about an hour ago.
It's unquestionable how much they deserve to be here and how honoured I am personally, and I know that my Ngaitahu whānau are the same, is to be able to share our whenua not only with the ones that have passed, but with the ones that are here and living above our ground. They have every right to be here.
Whoever finds the ring and the basket of petals will be the dominant one in the relationship. And I found the ring.
No. I found the ring, pulled it out, and I go, yes. And then she grabbed it off my hand and goes, yes. So I don't know
and
if
that sums up our marriage. We had two different weddings. So we had the Pakistani wedding, and then we had our New Zealand wedding, and we had the ceremony at the marae. And this is my kurawai that I had on for the day with my dad. My dad's wearing his Pakistani outfit.
We're the first one ever, probably, to actually marry someone out of our whānau, out of our culture. So that was a big hurdle to get over. Our families are really tight. It's hilarious because they're so similar. So nothing was nicer than to be able to welcome the Pakistani whānau on, and then they get to experience everything. The haka, the karanga, the kai. It was really nice. And I got to put Saba in a cloak, so that was even cooler.
So we were in Melbourne with Tyler's sister. I got a message from my friend, and she said, hey Saba, we are near a restaurant near the mosque, and a guy came in saying that there was an attack. We knew that two of our family members were missing, but you just think, oh yeah, things will be okay.
For me to be tangata whenua from here means a lot. It's an absolute privilege for me, and I feel an immense sense of pride, not only being Ngaitahu, but being from Taumotu. I guess you could say that we derive a lot of our mana from the waves out here. Kia ora, he uri tēnei no Ngaitahu, no Te Aotearoa, no Ngāti Porou hoki, ko Tyler Harrison Hunt tōku ingoa. We're at Ngāti Moki Marae in Taumotu, and it's where I grew up when I was a kid. For me, I'm quite fair-skinned, so when I was growing up in school, a lot of people didn't know that I was Māori. But I'd also find that if they found out that I was Māori, it becomes sort of tokenistic. Everyday casual racism is actually everywhere. People crossing the other side of the road because you've got a tāmoko. But my brother actually, he's a lot darker than me. But he did cop a lot. Slurs thrown at you left, right and centre, especially if on the rugby field. For me and Saba, there's a totally different contrast. I grew up people being scared of me, but Saba grew up of people always dumbing her down.
Mon nom Sabada, ze Pakistan Naya, or Pakistan she ze Peshawar she astedala, ze New Zealand tarogaliya wache kala ze 8 years old va. When I moved to New Zealand, I still remember it like it was yesterday. It was a beautiful community to grow up in. Everyone knew each other. It was a really nice place to start our journey in New Zealand. Growing up Muslim in Christchurch, to begin with, when I was younger and I first moved to New Zealand, I didn't really find it too different. Because when you're young, I feel like you're naive to the world. And I would say the first time I ever felt different being a Muslim in Christchurch was when the September 11th attack happened. You know, kids were coming up to me saying, the people that did it were Muslims and they were terrorists. Does that mean you're a terrorist? I didn't know what a terrorist was, and I had to go home and talk to my family about it and ask them, like, are we good people? You know, is being Muslim a bad thing? And the thing that I'm really grateful for is that my parents didn't get upset at me asking these questions. They were really open and saying, Saba, the people that did this, they say they're Muslims, but they're not going in line with what our religion holds important. So we are not them and they are not us. They're not what we consider being Muslim.
Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Allahu Akbar.
We pray 5 times a day. The thing I found with this prayer is really logical for me. It's good for your body and joints. You'll see 70, 80-year-olds still being able to go down and up. In a lot of the Western world, you won't see that.
For me personally, praying is, you know, like meditation. It gives you a moment of silence and just, you know, resetting your brain a little bit.
6 years ago when I converted, I walked into Al Noor Mosque. It was during a Jummah prayer, a Friday prayer. I'll be honest, I was shit scared. I was scared as. See 300 fellas in the room. And I went up to go and do my Muslim profession of faith. It's called a Shahada. The next thing I see after I did that was 300 people standing up in the room and embracing me and cuddling me and hugging me, saying, welcome, welcome, welcome. In Islam, you're not allowed to push your religion onto somebody. It's a sin. You're not actually allowed to do it. There's no compulsion in the religion. The question I had was, what do Muslims think of other religions? And it said that all religions are our brothers. All people of religion are our brothers and our sisters. That's what it said in this book. I was like, okay, this is crazy. This is pretty cool. That was one of my big burning questions for me was, how aggressive is this religion if I'm reading through it and all I'm seeing is aroha, all I'm seeing is patience.
I just remember my uncle when he moved here, he absolutely loved New Zealand.
I love you.
He would say, Saba, you walk down the street and people say hi to you and they don't even know you.
The shooter wore a body camera and broadcast the killings live on the internet.
The video spread across the global social media giant Facebook.
I hope I don't get left with the curse of that imagery, you know, for the rest of my life, because it's really tough. My peaceful place, my quiet place, was a place where treacherous acts happened. The place obviously got blessed. The tapu got lifted from it, but I don't think the tapu's been lifted in my mind.
Everything has changed since that day. Yeah.
We have to show that we are one nation. It doesn't matter what culture you have, we are one people.
because I noticed the sense of manaakitanga and awhi that I got from not only my friends and family, but from the general public.
With Ngāi Tahu being there for our family and really making us feel like we're a part of them, I think it's been really peaceful. And especially being away from Pakistan, where I don't have, you know, my extended family around, and Ngāi Tahu being so good to my family, I think it's made the process of not feeling so lonely. Yeah, not feeling lonely.
I think aroha means more than just love. I think it means the willingness to embrace. That's another great part of being tangata whenua. It's in our blood. Racism starts in the household, but manaakitanga starts in the household too. I am a huge fan of making sure that every single person that I come across feels completely welcome, and I learned that a lot from my wife, to be honest.
A lot of you know, prejudice and racism that's out there, it's from the fear of not knowing. So, and it is scary, you know, not knowing somebody's background or religion, and therefore it creates this stigma in your head, but you can do little things to overcome that.
You'll always find what you're looking for. If you want to find hateful or bad things about Islam, you'll find it. If you want to find hateful or bad things about Christians, you'll find it. It depends on how open you are to be able to do something. One thing that the Prophet said, and I can't get out of my head too, is he said that there is no better pairing than knowledge and patience.
And aroha is something that we all have the ability to do or give. So I think it's probably been the strength for Christchurch through everything Christchurch has been through.